All right, Chris. I looked at both videos. This one from the side, I can see a lot more, so we're just going to roll with this one. Maybe I'll find a different view this week to get you for your next video. But for today, let's do this view because I can see everything, and so will you. We're going to let the first few go. Just before we do, though, now that I'm really looking at it on film, I do think we need to widen out a little bit. I just think we need to use our legs more. Also, what you're going to see is that when you're picking up your foot for your leg kick, you're not connected. You're right on the verge of being connected, but you're not. So there's a delay, and then we leap forward. And so hopefully you can get your eyes on this and see this and make an easy adjustment. So let's start the first few. Just going to let it run for a couple swings. Go a couple more. In fact, hold on. Let's go back that one. That was one of your best ones so far. So I'm going to slow that down. All right. So we look good. I just wish we were a little wider. I wish you could just spread out a little bit and feel comfortable with that because I don't want to lose your comfort. But I think once we see this video, you're going to see why I'm talking about that. All right. So let's actually see when you pick up your foot, is your back hip connected and loaded or is it still getting loaded? So watch when it clicks in. So you're not loaded, not loaded, not loaded, not loaded. Now it's loaded. See, now the back leg is completely loaded. You should still be on the ground until we get in this position, okay? But you're not, so what happens is you have a delay in your timing. You kick, you're still loading, which creates, and this is very common for everybody, when you come back down, where you should be still loading, this isn't bad, but now that your foot completely down, there it is, slightly open, slightly collapsed, arm barred. That is the common theme. When we kick before being loaded and have to get that little finish of the load when you kick, this is the common result. We slightly, and the kids that are worse are a lot worse looking. You, not bad at all. You could get away with this at this level that you're playing at this year in high school, but you'll never become the great hitter that you should be at a high level with this, okay? From here, the hip can't really lead. And so the hands are doing most of the work right there, and all you're doing is turning, okay? What I'm wanting for you is that we're getting loaded. We stay on the ground, stay on the ground. Now that sucker is loaded. Watch where you see it click in. Right there. That's loaded. So we should still be, and you're close, okay? Now, the first few swings wasn't this close. This one's now where you started feeling better and you started getting close. Okay, so we should still be on the ground. This is when we should be picking up. That's your loaded position. So now when you kick, that would get that thing wound up like we want it to, okay? So if we get it loaded, now when you come down, you'll still have everything. So this is what you should, so if this foot was on the ground, this is how you should be landing. Back hip is still loaded. You're as centered as you can be. The arm bar is not near as bad. You can see a bend in there, which I would still like a little better. No arm bar on that, no tightness. But that position right there, now when you get ball, all you got to do is make a turn. Then we're going to be starting to show power consistently instead of every once in a while running into a ball and driving it. This could give you where you're always showing power, double power, and eventually home run power, which I think you can probably already do this year. But you see the difference. We should be landing here. You land there on a fastball. So we should be landing here. And the only reason we leak out of that position is because we're early on breaking ball or even early on a fastball. But you're leaking because of your move. Okay, so that was it. And again, not bad at all. Not bad at all. But it could be better. It could be better. Okay, so let's go to the next swing after this one. These last few start to look pretty good. So that's why I wanted to break these down instead of the first ones when you didn't look right. So again, watch how that hip is still working to get in there when you kick. See that right there? So it's still where there's a delay. Now I'm hitting because you're loaded. But by then, now you're already leaking. So again, same thing. Slightly open, slightly collapsed armbar. Okay? Super simple fix though. We should be on the ground. Now you can kick. So if you start kicking from this position, really study that angle of that leg and where that loaded position is. And I want you to really feel this. Get in there and practice that thing. Get in there and practice that load. Practice that move, that timing mechanism. So we got that back hip actually loaded. So when you pick up your foot, you're attacking a baseball with your swing. Right now, what I'm hoping you're seeing is you're not attacking right now when you kick. You're still getting loaded. Okay? And let's make sure our kick is getting that instead of that one that's kind of leaking out there. All right? Now again, from here, once you start your swing, pretty dang good, man. But God, you got so much more juice in there by getting that hip to lead, okay? Again, I'm not even going to worry about this right now because it looks kind of weak. Once we get that loaded position, the legs are going to start working a lot better. And I think spreading out could help you too. But I like the swing. All right, let's go to the next swing. Yeah. So again, you're doing what I preach against is you're using your leg kick to load your hip. And you're not meaning to because we've been talking about it, but what I'm saying is that's the common theme that I see on film is your kick is loading you. Where what should be happening right in here, this front hip should be getting that relaxation to lock that sucker in to connecting. And then we pick up from there. That's a good position, right? There. There's nowhere else to go. See right there? Hold on, let me clear that. You can't load anymore from there because that's completely loaded. Does that make sense? So if you were kicking from there, what that thing would be doing is getting that rotation in the hip that we've been talking about, all that juice, so you could get fully wound up. Watch when you get fully wound up, you're already halfway through your swing. So you're now fully wound up. You're already leaking towards the ball. And again, slightly open, slightly collapsed, tough there. That's why you guys at this age, because of that little blemish or whatever you want to call that fault, that's why we can't hit slow pitching. That's why we struggle with off speed. And then if you're at a high level, you can't hit hard in with authority. You'll be struggling with that, okay? So we have to get this fixed before varsity, and I would love to fix it this year so you can dominate at the JV or sophomore or whatever the heck team you're on. But you could be a dominant hitter because the swing's there, the power's there, but you're still not using your hip right, okay? And I'm glad we're doing this because I was seeing it, but now I'm really getting to see it, okay? So now I can really start hammering you in the cage about it too. But that little delay, we got to get rid of. Boom, there's that load. I'm on the ground until my leg has that. And that where you feel like you're sunk in there, where that hip can't load anymore. So then again, when you pick up, the hip will be rotating, not loading. When it's rotating, we're hitting. When it's loading, you're still loading, so you're not hitting. You're halfway through your dang swing and still not hitting right there, okay? So we've got to get it. And we've talked about this before. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm set. Go. Well, yours still isn't a go. That's not a go move. That's a load move. Okay? But I want you to make sure you're seeing this. And if you have any questions, I want you to call me or text me and we can talk about it. And I'll see you again this week. But I don't want you confused because you're right. I mean, we're splitting hairs right here. You're a hair away from being exactly where you want to be, kid. All right? Again, we're going to watch it in slow motion. You'll see that thing click in about right there. And that's what shoots you forward, just slight. And man, again, you're fighting your butt off. You're a good athlete. So you're getting away with it a little bit. You are. But I know you're not pleased with your consistency in my cage, and I'm not either, because it's not, you're not just crushing every time. Now you're taking great swings, but you're not crushing. And this little thing we're talking about will turn the corner on that, where the consistency's there, because you're truly timing a swing instead of that little load and then your swing. Man, this is going to be an easy fix, though, brother. I hope you're seeing this. If you're not understanding, please text me, okay? Or at least talk to me Thursday about it when I see you. All right. So again, one more time. I'm not loaded. I'm not loaded. Now I'm loaded. That we cannot kick from an unloaded position. We have to be loaded. We have to be in position. Okay, and that is just that relaxation with that. Ooh. Oh, I'm glad I can do that. Okay. So that relaxation right there with that hip clicks that in. Clicks it into this position right there. Then we kick. Okay? Hold on. Now I can really see it, Chris. So watch. As soon as you get in that power position right here, which is your pop right there. That right there. That is your position. You're only in that loaded position for what? A split second? And you're already out of it. I got in it, and I'm already out of it. Okay? So we've got to get that down. And I'm going to hammer you on that Thursday. But before that, when you see this video, I want you working on it. So again, you're not loaded until your leg kick is about done. So you're coming to that ball. He's not working for you. He is not doing all the work. He is not the leader. That's the leader up there. Okay. Now again, it's not bad at all. I have to slow it down. I have to put it in super slow motion to even see your flaw. So do not look at this as a bad thing. Look at it as a good thing, because we can fix this thing. Okay. We ain't worried about your swing. We're not worried about any of that. I'm not going to keep pressing you on spreading out, but I sure think you ought to, because look how wide you are when you land. I think you should be covering that box a lot more than that. Okay, using those legs to full potential. Again, in my opinion, I think the stride and everything gets better when you start getting that loaded position, though, too. So we'll check that out Thursday on that. Just watch it all the way through. Yeah, you're not getting the juice out of that hip like it should. But boy, I'm excited now because I've gotten to see this thing, and now we're going to get it. All right, let's go to this last swing. You are half loaded, and now you're loaded. Yeah, good swing. Oof, there's that strong leg right there. Look at that angle. Look at that. That is loaded. You're picking it. So that's our loaded position. You pick up from that position. What are we talking? We're talking a centimeter or two? I mean, this is nothing, Chris. So easy, brother. But look at that. Look, see how it stops you? So because it's not fully loaded and going to rotate when you pick up, it stops and flow goes. So we can't hit out of our rhythm. It won't be a good rhythm like that. It's too stoppy. And boy, I can tell you this, just as being a hitter, when I had that kind of move and everything, it was almost damn near impossible for me not to grip early and get tight. Because when our hip doesn't feel as the leader and it's doing all the things that we're wanting it to do, our top half tries to take over for the power. And you see what happens. You get a little arm barred up there because you leak. And if that thing is still bent and relaxed, and we're more in that position when we land, and that's better, but it could be even more bent and relaxed, okay? Not bad, though. And you're trying to lead with that hip. That hip's trying to do something. It's just, again, because it's already collapsed a little bit and it's not fully loaded when you land, it can only do so much. It can only do so much. Okay? Easy stuff, though, brother. All right. I will see you Thursday, brother. Fix this. It's real. Honestly, it's nothing to fix. It's just learning your loaded position. When you kick your foot, when you pick your foot up to kick, there should be no more loading. It is now rotating. The hip is working now. It's actually hitting instead of loading. Okay? Easy stuff, man.